Pick Pink and help TM Pick and Pay support breast cancer awareness. This time check is brought to you by TM Pick and Pay.
.20 hours on the clock. Welcome. This is the main news. My name is Batla Lepure.
And I'm Justin Matlatla. Piswe Jomunika joins us at the sign language desk, and later we'll be joined by Dora Ngube from our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. And these are the top stories tonight.
Top stories tonight. President Emmerson Mnangagwa coming to the rescue of 30 Findale school learners whose examination fees were squandered by school authorities.
And in other news, government reaffirms commitment to fighting Mpox.
Be sure to join us in business news, where Zimbabwe is engaging development partners for technical and financial input in the 2025 national budget.
Later, when we take a look at sport, Harare Giants Dynamos are through to the Chibuku Super Cup semi-finals following a 5-3 victory over Yada.
Tonight's leading story, Zimbabwe's ambassador-designate to the Russian Federation, Mr. Mark-Ray Marongwe, says he is ready for his tour of duty.
Ambassador Marongwe was at State House where he bade farewell to President Emmerson Mnangagwa this Wednesday. Details from our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe.
A retired veteran radio and television broadcaster, rising to become Assistant Director General at ZBC before joining the diplomatic service, and whose last assignment was the Secretary of Defense and War Veterans Affairs in the Ministry of Defense. Comrade Mark-Ray Chatonga Marongwe is now Zimbabwe's ambassador to the Russian Federation. He got his marching orders from the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House, before leaving for Moscow. He spoke to journalists on his journey from Mutapa Township in Gweru to the liberation war in the jungles of Mozambique and his service to the cause of Zimbabwe.
The duty of the ambassador is to ensure that there are good relations between the sending country and the in global affairs. So I feel honored to be appointed to serve Zimbabwe in the capacity of ambassador. Of course, I'm not new to serving the country. I think I'm one of the longest serving people in government, probably up to 30 years. If we take the whole years, I think some of the cameramen were not even born when I took the decision to work for the freedom of our country and also to serve.
After leaving Pockets Hill, he served his country in the diplomatic field in Washington, Mozambique, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kuwait, and now lives for Moscow. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, State House, Harare.
For a follow-up to a story that we brought you yesterday, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has since come to the rescue of the more than 30 learners at Findale School in Eastview, Harare, who missed ordinary level examinations this week after the school owner allegedly misappropriated their exam fees. The president has since paid the examination fees and allowed them to write the remaining subjects. Let's get more from Peter Chivima.
Touched by the plight of over 30 learners at Findale School in Harare who were left stranded after missing ordinary level examinations, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has moved in to pay for the examination fees and allowed them to write the remaining subjects. This was confirmed by the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Torerai Moyo, when he visited Findale School in Eastview in Harare this Wednesday.
I want to thank His Excellency the President for coming to the rescue of all these learners, because their fundamental rights to education had been violated through this theft by the owner of this unregistered school. His Excellency the President has offered to pay examination school fees for all the 34 candidates whose rights had been violated by the owner of this unregistered school. So we have identified 10 examination centers in Harare Province and Mashonaland East.
ZIMSEC Chief Executive Officer Dr. Lazarus Nembaware confirmed the centers where learners will be sitting for their examinations.
We will put measures in place to ensure that these candidates write their examinations. Unfortunately, as the Minister has indicated, English and mathematics, those subjects have now been written. They will have to write in June. But those starting tomorrow, we have facilitated that they go to centers which are registered, and we have split them into manageable numbers because at each center there are some extra question papers and stationery.
The news has been met with jubilation by the learners.
Kufara tichitenda president wedu atuma minisa kuya mune ino nzvimbo kuti tikwanise kunyora tatisina hope kuti tisanyora nezvaitaurwa nevanhu kuti amubetsereki makavharwa.
Ndoda kutenda president nezvavatiitira kozi vamwe tasina na hope tasaziva kuti tichazonyorere kana kuti zvatogumira ipapo.
Vamira nesu havana kutisiya nevana vedu vanga vatraumatized, asi tiri kutenda kuti vana vedu zvinezvi vaakufara nesu vabereki taakufara.
Takabatikana vabereki asi zuva ranhasi tanzwa tine mufaro wakawedzera kuti vana vedu vakwanisa kunyora. Toda kutenda neministry yese iri pano ndababa wedu wapresident vaMunangagwa akwanisa kubhadhira vana maschool fees.
Tafara kusvika pekuguma tatakasuwa misodzi iri pamatama.
Government is taking stern measures against the schools that are operating illegally to ensure such incidences do not occur again. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that's hope restored, a future secured by that timely intervention there. Now, government has launched the Pfumvudza Intwasa and Zunde Ramambo Ispala Senkosi programs for the 2024 to 2025 summer cropping season.
Launch of the Pfumvudza Intwasa and the Zunde Ramambo Isfala Senkosi program at Gweu Primary School in Buera this Wednesday has heightened the preparations for the summer cropping season and unlocks more government support towards agricultural production. The program was launched by Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Dr. Anxious Masuka, who was representing President Emmerson Mnangagwa. He revealed that the distribution of inputs will start this Thursday, with 3.5 million people expected to benefit from the program.
The 2024-2025 season, Pfumvudza is targeting 3.5 million beneficiaries across 1.8 million households. Altogether, the target is 9.5 million Pfumvudza plots. Already, 64% of the beneficiaries have done 63% of the targeted plots, which is indeed commendable. Distribution of inputs across all provinces will start tomorrow.
He said the El Nino-induced drought has provided valuable lessons to further climate-proof the agriculture sector, adding that the summer cropping season provides a platform to replenish the agriculture reserves on the back of the worst drought in 43 years.
Agriculture is at the epicenter of this country's growth matrix, as Zimbabwe is an agro-based economy. In rhyming with my administration's transformational vision 2030 of leaving no one and no place behind, the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development's eco-chamber strategy is development that leaves no household and no village behind. Emerging from the worst drought in 43 years and anticipating a good rainfall season, farmers are expected to produce enough to feed the nation and to replenish the strategic grain reserve.
Beneficiaries are appreciative of the inclusive government support.
Nhasi ndapuhwa mbeu ndakunodyara makomba ndakachera ndakatesa mupfudze ndikasanganisa nevhu ndikaisala imi yangu nhasi ndoda kukutendai purezidhendi.
Tikunyanya kufara kuti tapiwa mainputs akawanda, mafertilizer, mbeu dzakasiyana-siyana, mapfunde nemasidzi emuriwo.
Panapa tine mapulotsi edu anokwana 25 asi tatanzi tiite 16 tafenzerwa nzvimbo ino hatichamire kurima.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Misheki Mugadza, said the program is sparing food security in the country.
Your Excellency, your visionary leadership in championing Mpumbudza Intwasa has not only improved food security at the household level, but has also contributed significantly to national grain production. This program is a beacon of hope.
The event also saw business units being launched at Gweu Primary and Secondary Schools, as well as Gweu Village, where fishery projects received fingerlings. Under the Pfumvudza Intwasa program, the government is working on ensuring that farmers grow crops according to their ecological regions, with farmers in agroecological regions 4 and 5 encouraged to grow traditional grains to ensure food self-sufficiency at household level. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Buyera.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa has arrived in Bulawayo for the official opening of the annual Exporters Conference at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center that is set to take place tomorrow. The event is part of the Zimbabwe Export Week that has been running from the 14th and will go up to the 18th of October under the theme Atala Tanga Start. The annual Exporters Conference brings together the business community, policymakers and international organizations to discuss areas of mutual interest in the export industry. Of course, we'll be regularly updating you as to what will be taking place at that conference.
Now, the Meteorological Services Department says the rainfall season is about to begin, with normal to above normal rains expected from November this year to March next year. Tendai Mnengwa has more.
Current wet spell being experienced in some parts of the country will not last long, but significant rains are expected by end of October.
Few other significant falls are expected in the later days of the month as we close the month of October. And as we note, we've had generally decreased the rainfall over much of the country for much of October. But as we get into November, December and January, we're expecting normal to above normal rainfall. Same for December, January and February, as well as December, January, February into March, where we're expecting normal to above normal rainfall.
Agronomist Ms. Wendy Madzura advised farmers to take advantage of the predicted normal to above normal rains to fully utilize their land and boost food security.
Let's not rush to start planting now because we might be found wanting. Let's make informed decisions, and remember, planting should be guided by crop mapping, which speaks to the agroecological regions and should also guide in terms of our crop and variety selection ahead of the season.
According to the Meteorological Service Department, the country is expected to receive normal to above normal rainfall during the summer season, enhancing prospects of boosting productivity and food security. Tendai Mnengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, an Indian business delegation is expected in the country with the hope of enhancing trade between the two nations.
India's envoy to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Brahma Kumar, paid a courtesy call on Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga at his Munumutapa offices in Harare this Wednesday. Briefing journalists after the meeting, the diplomat revealed that the focus is on enhancing ties between the two countries.
We are having a business delegation coming from India on Monday. So they will meet with their counterparts here in Zimbabwe. So they are in several sectors like healthcare and pharmaceuticals, constructions, power and telecom. All those are the sectors where they are coming. So we are looking forward how it go, and I also highlighted with him like what India has been doing to enhance people-to-people contact. We are already extending 275 scholarship slots to Zimbabwe under Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, which is an example of South-South cooperation.
He further stated that New Delhi is pleased with its diplomatic ties with Harare. Political, diplomatic and trade ties between Zimbabwe and India have seen high-level engagements in the fields of education, health, arts and culture, with bilateral ties growing over the years. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Government has reaffirmed commitment to containing the spread of Mpox, with stringent measures being put in place.
This Wednesday's National Assembly question and answer session highlighted a number of issues, with the containment of the Mpox virus taking center stage. Government assured the nation that stringent measures had been put in place, with a special focus on the country's ports of entry.
This disease usually enters through the ports, entry ports, that is our borders, our airports. And since we heard about that disease, we had our surveillance teams, which we keep tracking, also checking, screening the people who were traveling from other countries to come in the country. We can assure the nation that each and every measure is being taken to make sure that there is no spread of this disease.
The lower house also raised concern on mining firms that are now operating within towns, with the government saying they will revoke their license without hesitation.
Bumbiro redu remutemo rinoona nezvemugodi rinotaura kuti nzvimbo inopigwa mugodhi haifanira kunge iri nzvimbo ine misha, haifanira kunge iri nzvimbo ine zvivakwa zvakaita sezvikoro, madhibha kana madhamu. Saka munhu wega wega anenge achiunza application yake kuti apiwe residence, pane vanoongorora vanobva kuMinistry of Mines vanoenda kunotarisa panzvimbo iyoyo kuti nzvimbo iyoyo ine kodzero ere kuti inge ichipigwa mugodhi. Kana taona kuti ine kodzero ndo panozopiwa residence.
The schools feeding program was also under the spotlight, with the National Assembly applauding government for the initiative, which has improved attendance registers at rural schools. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Our cabinet has approved a raft of measures that seek to improve the country's power supply. This was reviewed at a post-cabinet media briefing in Harare this Tuesday. Our diplomatic correspondent, Josephine Mugio, has more.
The 33rd cabinet sitting for the year saw a number of issues being tabled, and among them was the country's power supply challenges. In a post-cabinet media briefing in Harare this Tuesday, the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, highlighted the raft of measures considered and adopted by cabinet to improve the country's power supply.
The structural challenges are being addressed by the Mtapa Investment Fund in a process involving the bundling or merging of some entities under ZESA, as recommended by the independent consultant who was commissioned to undertake the task. This will result in a more simplified and efficient governance and management structure. Supply-side interventions include the rehabilitation of Wange units 1 to 6 under a build, operate and transfer agreement, which is set to commence this year. The Mtapa Investment Fund is also putting in place measures to cater for the foreign currency requirements for independent power producers to address the low uptake of net metering from solar-generated electricity. ZESA has been specifically directed to promote the facility and streamline the pertinent procedures and requirements in order to increase uptake. The loss of electricity during transmission is being attended to through the establishment of a joint venture between ZENT and QLV for the manufacture of cables and in dealing with theft and corruption.
The SADC Anti-Sanctions Day, set for the 25th of this month, coincides with the 21st ZANU-PF Annual National People's Conference to be held in Bulawayo.
His Excellency the President, in his capacity as the chairperson of SADC, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, will deliver a national address. Several activities have been lined up to mark the SADC Anti-Sanctions Day, and these include the following. the SADC Anti-Sanctions Solidarity Summit, which will comprise the media endeavor, the roadshow, the cultural and musical events, the solidarity marches and public awareness campaigns. Other activities include innovation exhibition by primary and secondary schools and tertiary institutions, panel discussions and workshops, and documentary, among other issues.
It was also revealed that Zimbabwe will continue to lobby for the lifting of the illegal embargo, which has been in place since the turn of the millennium.
Zimbabwe will continue to honor this event and to encourage people to campaign against removal of the illegal sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by those countries that imposed sanctions on us. The fact that the United States, you called it, eased the sanctions by removing Zimbabwe from the OFAC platform and handing it over to another platform, the Magnitsky platform, is no encouragement to anyone, certainly not to Zimbabwe, to say that they've eased these sanctions. We want a total removal of sanctions on Zimbabwe.
Cabinet also received and adopted a report on the ongoing preparations for the 2024 Regional World Children's Day celebrations at Baobab Primary School in Hwange. The event will draw participants from Botswana, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
By prioritizing early detection, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and leveraging on the benefits of traditional foods, the country can aspire to have a future where cancer is viewed as a challenge that can be overcome. This was said by the country's Health and Childcare Ambassador, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, during a cancer screening exercise for various government organizations and departments at the City Sports Center in Harare this Tuesday.
First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is also Health and Childcare Ambassador, this Tuesday expanded the cancer screening initiative to various government organizations and departments as she forges ahead with their life-saving and wellness programs, ensuring that no one and no place is left behind. Through the Angel of Hope Foundation, the Mother of the Nation provided the ultra-modern top-notch mobile hospital, which consists of mammography, an ultrasound scan, gynecological machinery, and a radiation machine for the benefit of women from different government organizations and departments. The women were screened for breast and cervical cancer free of charge, with the program coinciding with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Addressing the women, Dr. Mnangagwa underscored the importance of early detection, healthy lifestyle, and traditional foods in the fight against non-communicable diseases, including cancer. She also made a clarion call for the women to cherish the country's rich cultural heritage, which plays a pivotal role in reducing the risk of developing non-communicable diseases.
Let us cherish the significance of our traditional foods. It is essential to recognize the significance of preventive strategies. Adopting a healthy lifestyle characterized by regular physical activity, a nutritious diet abundant in fruits and vegetables, and the avoidance of smoking and excessive alcohol can greatly diminish the likelihood of cancer development.
The Mother of the Nation also rallied women to live dignified and exemplary lives.
Akanaka anogona kubatsira umwe. Vana mai tine tsitsiso, kutsinya tine kuita nezivo, hatine guwa, hatine gogo, kufurira. Tsitsiso iyi haina munhu, haina muningi, chese ngatidzidzisa nei kuti chinhu chinonzi amai, amai gutsikana, kuti Mwari maita hei, ndobva mandisvitsa chinotenda, chindipa here simba, shandire vana vakandii.
Provincial Medical Director, Harare Metropolitan Province, Dr. Innocent Hove, who paid tribute to Amai Mnangagwa for bringing state-of-the-art medical facilities to people's doorsteps, also highlighted the importance of early detection.
We really have got to be grateful kuti takaungana pano tese tikakwanisa kuti tiscreenwe. This would have been a huge number to our statistics. And I really want to thank the First Lady for this gesture. If there is anything that is wrong, it can be diagnosed early so that you are started on treatment as early as possible.
Mr. Adonija Mzondiwona, who is Harare Metropolitan Province National AIDS Council Manager, underscored the importance of regular cancer screening among women, especially those living with HIV.
National AIDS Council tinokusapota nokuti makatanga initiative inoshambisa nokuti so far tiri kuwana vamwe vanhu vasati vambo screenwa BP nediabetes asi vachitowanikwa sometimes vatori neshuga iri kuma-29 32 uchibva vatorifewa kundorapwa.
Mrs. Charity Kawadza from Kids Can, who said young children are not immune to cancer, highlighted some of the cancers that are common among kids.
Tirikuona kuti vana vari kunonoka kuunzwa nevabereki kuti muine vana kudzimba uko vanogona kutobatwawo chirwere chinonzi cancer.
Also present at the event was Evangelist Nelly Gwatidzo, who implored women to embrace Amai Mnangagwa's free cancer screening initiative. She also rallied women to be hygienic. Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services Chaplain Christine Piri, who is a cancer survivor, gave wise counsel to fellow women. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Harare Metropolitan Province, Mr. Cosmos Chiringa, applauded the First Lady for the cancer screening program, which she has taken to various places around the country. The First Lady has embarked on various medical outreach programs across the country to ensure that quality healthcare services are accessible to all. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, there are more stories on our website. You can visit that website. It is www.zbcnewsonline.co.zw.
Of course, you can also interact with us via our social media platforms on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as on our WhatsApp channel. We are at ZBC News Online.
And there are more stories to come after the break we're about to take, and this is what you can expect.
In the 2025 national budget.
Hear what some of their inputs are. And in your sport, Harare Giants Dynamos through to the Chibuku Super Cup semi-finals. A 5-3 victory over Yada after penalty shootouts. We will look at that and a whole lot more. Be sure to join us then.
Stay with us.
Guys, are you looking for drinks? There's no on that side.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
When my husband died, I didn't know where to turn. But when I met Tando, I realized I was not alone. She introduced me to a group of amazing women. They supported me through hard times. They taught me what it was to feel joy again. And I'm grateful for the friends who are there for me. After all, We all need a friend. Zimgold, your trusted friend.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
You know, I never understood why my buddy always brought Pepsi 2-liter drink to every hangout. But this time, it hit me. It's more than just a drink. With the new Peel and Win promotion, it's not only about enjoying the refreshing taste, but you could also win airtime to keep the fun going. Drink more, talk more, it's the perfect combo. I'm glad this season everyone's got a chance to win.
Guys have won 1,000 minutes.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
Thank you for staying with us. The illegal economic sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by the United States and its Western allies are a legacy of colonial bullying tactics that have taken a neo-colonial stance. Retired banker Mr. Ernest Tunduwari is one of the people who came face to face with the brutality of racial segregation during the colonial era. That story from our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe.
83 years ago, a baby boy was born to a Mozambican immigrant from Inhambane district of Mozambique to a local woman in Chikunguru in Makoni district in Manicaland. Chandi Ernest Tunduwan went to school there, then proceeded to Mutoko and Hatzel High School near Mutare. He was a pioneer banker in colonial Rhodesia.
There was so much discrimination. So my accountant there wanted me to become a sub-accountant in the branch. And he sent it to head office and they said, no, we are
not enough.
Yes, if we allow one African, it will be a problem.
In late 1979, following the ceasefire, then the Rhodesians were adamant not to open any bank accounts to nationalists. Tunduwani stood his ground and took a gamble.
Some guys walked in. The accountant who was supposed to open the account ran to me. So they said, this white man, these terrorists have come to open an account here. I said, they're not terrorists. This is the future government. You open the account.
What position were you having now?
I was a check clerk, pending being sub-accountant. So they started signing travelers' checks from Tanzania. They started around 12. I think they finished around 7 p.m., the American Express. But also they had bank drafts issued by Bank of Mozambique or New York. Those we could not give them credit for immediately. So I had to send them for collection to New York. So after a week or so, I had to stay late in the bank because of the time difference, phoning New York. Are these cleared? Can we give them value for money? So subsequently, the account was opened, it was operated. The man who was handling the money was Ernest Kalungure.
Recently, the man who was so close to many nationalists across the political divide had time to reminisce over various issues with the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, at the National Heroes Acre at the burial of Comrade Chinga Dube. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, let's now cross over to our Montrose studios, where Dora Ngwe is on standby with the bit of stories on this bulletin. Great to see you, Dora.
Good evening, Butler and Justin. Many thanks to you and the rest of the team at Pocketsil for taking us on. And we continue with the bulletin from our Montrose News Desk. Collaboration between regional and international buyers for enhanced trade was the key focus at the buyers seminar at the ongoing Exporters Week in Bulawayo.
The Exporters Week, which roared to life this Wednesday in Bulawayo, started on a high note with regional and international buyers eager to work with local producers to take Zimbabwean products to the global market. Captains of industry underscored the need to focus on quality production in line with local and global market demands to increase exports, which are critical in boosting foreign currency receipts.
We've got the products that can bring in the foreign currency, and foreign direct trade is good for our economy because it then brings in foreign currency that allows us to trade for other services and goods which we might not have here exclusively.
Foreign currency is very important within the Zimbabwean context because it also gives them the ability to import other raw materials for production within Zimbabwe, like your plastic, your boxes are coming from other countries. So that enables easy trade.
If you look at intra-Africa trade, it's about 16 to 17%. We need to increase it maybe to around 70-80%, like what is happening with the European Union. So it's important that we actually support government initiatives in terms of ensuring that we export.
National Trade Promotion Body Zimtrade reiterated the need for local producers to keep abreast with demands of the export market to meet global standards and improve Zimbabwe's trade balance.
We are now focusing our exports also on heritage-based exports. We've got our baobab, we've got our mangongo, all those things. So we are now tapping into our indigenous fruits to make sure that we commercialize those aspects for exports.
Government reaffirmed its commitment to continue to support the sector towards the realization of a $14 billion United States export economy.
Our government has put in place various policies to support the growth of the export sector, including the provision of export incentives, improved ease of doing business, and infrastructure development aimed at reducing the cost of production and transportation.
The annual Exporters Week, which is being held under the theme Kala, Tanga, Start, has managed to attract representatives from 11 countries. Grace Sibanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government is taking a consultative approach to create a conducive environment for diaspora community investments through policy formulation and review.
The Office of the President and Cabinet, in conjunction with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade this Wednesday, held its National Diaspora Policy Review engagement in Bulawayo as part of efforts to embrace the diaspora community's economic contribution. Some of the participants contributed virtually.
If we have these kind of policies, we have these kind of opportunities displayed in these platforms, and we start engaging, we really recommend that as the government that whatever you're trying to do, it's really working on us.
The government is engaged stakeholders, including the diaspora community, international organizations like IOM, to do benchmarking so that we can have a policy that encourages participation by our diaspora population in the development of our country.
In the policy review, government is working with cooperating partners such as the International Organization for Migration in supporting global human movement.
We also try to focus on the 3 E's, which is to engage, to enable, and also to empower the diaspora to promote national development. And this is in sync with the existing national development strategy 1.
Government also acknowledged the diaspora community's contribution to the country's development agenda.
The exercise that we are undertaking now represents to us as government an empowerment program empowering the diaspora
The country
community.
is set to commemorate the International Day of Rural Women this Friday at Chiwuti Secondary School in Mutoko district of Mashonaland East Province.
Education and healthcare. And as I said, they are disproportionately affected by the effects of climate change. It is therefore important to celebrate our women's roles and achievements. This year, the International Women's Day for Rural Women will be commemorated under the following objectives. 1, raise awareness about rural women's contributions and challenges. 2, promote gender equality and empowerment. 3, encouraging policy support and investment in the development of rural women in order to reduce the cost of living. 4, raise awareness on high prevalence of child marriages, intimate partner violence, and other forms of gender-based violence in our communities, and the need to raise awareness on climate-smart initiatives to promote sustainable livelihoods for women and girls. There will be exhibitions, entertainment, financial, legal, health, and other services, as well as presentations on various topics that will empower our women with knowledge on food systems, climate change, education, and health issues.
That was the Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Minister, Senator Monica Mtswangwa, at the belated commemorations which highlighted the critical role rural women play in the country's agricultural sector and socio-economic development. And on that note, we now take you back to our Pocket Hill studios. Justin and Butler, it's back to you.
Thanks a lot, Dora. And in other news, government school feeding program being celebrated for ensuring learners are well fed in the face of the El Nino-induced drought.
The school feeding program has been taken to Chiredzi district, where parents have nothing but praise for the Second Republic.
Programu yakatifadza sevabereki nevenharaunda vese nevana vechikoro nekuti mazuva ano atiri anaya zvinhu zvakawanda zviri kushota mudzimba. Zvinhu hazvisi kubatana zvakanaka, saka toda kutotenda hurumende yakati wanirawo chirongwa ichi.
Panyaya yenzara iriko gonde runo taona kuti vana vazhinji vamwe vatove vasina kana mvuwo, saka pari zvino vari kutaura kuti zvinenge zviri kuvachichinjira.
The program, meant to provide one hot meal to the learners per day, has also boosted attendance at schools.
I'm happy to say that tine vana vanga vaita drop out of school. I know about 4 or 5 cases. Vana ivo vakadzoka pavakaunza kuti pane feeding program chikoro.
Chiredzi has received 154 tons of mealie meal distributed to 67 primary schools across the district.
So far, 67 primary schools have benefited, they have received. But this only constitutes 21% of the schools that are supposed to receive. And from the 67 primary schools, remember we are targeting P3 schools. Children who are feeding, we have 40,386 from those schools.
The school feeding program is expected to run until April next year. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe Kazembe, has expressed concern over the escalating crime rate and traffic accidents, emphasizing the need for self-reflection on the Zimbabwe Republic Police's strategic plan. He addressed the concerns at the 2024 Senior Officers Conference in Harare this Wednesday. The details.
The number of armed robberies is going up, especially the armed robberies that involve guns. That's scary. The crime rate is going up in that direction. Yes, we've scored successes in certain areas, one that I've just mentioned. Yes, we can certainly say there's peace and tranquility in the country, but people are used to not seeing these crimes that we're seeing now. I was saying, yes, the danger that we have, good danger that is that the advent of technology, with the advent of technology, people can now see what is happening in Mtare in real time. So whenever a crime is committed, people from all over the country, and even beyond, can tell that there's a crime, and they can witness, they can see what's happening. Therefore, we are always being mugged, left, right, and center. People want answers. So we need to up our game. Furthermore, the monthly reports received from the Zimbabwe Public Police indicated that during the periods January to August 2023 and January to August 2024, crime rose by 11%, while traffic accidents increased by 6%, with a total of 1,352 people losing their lives.
The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage there, Kazembe. Elsewhere, children of all veterans of the liberation struggle have launched an Apex Council which brings 13 affiliates under one roof to safeguard the legacy of the Liberation War.
The establishment of the Apex Council for Children of Veterans of the Struggle, chaired by Comrade Pardon Mangwende, was launched in Harare this Wednesday. The Vice Chairperson of the Apex Council, Garkai Msika, presented the roadmap, which includes safeguarding the legacy of freedom fighters.
We are proud to announce that 13 associations have appended their signatures to the Apex Council, demonstrating our unity in safeguarding the legacy of the liberation struggle.
The affiliates hailed the Apex Council as the best foot forward in unlocking economic opportunities for children of veterans of the struggle.
Amendments have been agreed upon in Parliament for them to push the fees issue to doctorate level and many adjustments with respect to the pensions of our veterans. We have also been moving with the Portfolio Committee for Budget, Investment Promotion and Treasury in their pre-budgetary hearings for 2025 for the past week or two. And I'm happy to say, comrades, we have been pushing the issue of the 0.5% for empowerment funds, and that issue has been taken in, and it is now being debated in Parliament.
Veterans of the liberation struggle include ex-detainees, war veterans, war collaborators, and non-combatant cadres. They constitute over 1.5 million individuals according to government records. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
We take a break. Join us when we return with business news.
Since the last day of last season, we are ready to do it all again. Phil Foden is having the season of his life. Brilliant! Just brilliant! That is quite something!
Get all your football needs with DSTV for Business. Visit dstv.com/business and find the package that suits your business. They'll love it here.
Good morning and win forever, citizens of heaven in Zimbabwe. The man of God, Senior Apostle John Chi, all the way from Cameroon, arrives in Zimbabwe for a 2-day crusade at the City Sports Center on the 19th and the 18th of October. You are all invited to come and receive your blessings. When I say all, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your neighbors. Bring everybody you can think of, because this is a time where God will change something in your life. There will be healing and there will be deliverance for each and every one of you. So we're expecting to see you in your numbers. Don't miss your blessings.
Join us for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation's annual golf tournament on November 8, 2024 at the Royal Harare Golf Course. This event celebrates partnerships and excellence, offering a day of great golf and valuable networking. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or a novice, this is your chance to showcase your skills and have fun. Don't miss out. Mark your calendars. For sponsorship opportunities and bookings, don't hesitate to get in touch with Claris on 0712-842-138. See you on the greens.
Arutiko. Penga uyu. Ungoti zvinosiyana kani. Isomo chatokumuka.
Maipi. Chikari masadza iyi. Nemuriwo. Tapini.
Enter the Seed Go Farming promotion and stand a chance to win.
If you drink, be responsible.
Welcome back. Time now for business. And the principle is nothing for the people without the people. Zimbabwe has stepped up efforts to craft a people-oriented 2025 national budget by engaging development partners on technical and financial input.
A government development partner engagement for the 2025 national budget was held in Harare this Wednesday, with stakeholders sharing ideas on a resource mobilization and ensuring an accountable fiscal system. Development partners expressed a willingness to assist with crafting the 2025 national budget, which will be presented next month.
The United Nations system is ready to work with the government, the people, and the partners to achieve what has been articulated in the National Development Strategy 1. So there are so many areas, but one of the things we are pushing out for is to ensure that the budget in next year focuses on leaving no one behind agenda and leaving no place behind agenda in a way that the vulnerable and the marginalized communities are grouped, are taken into consideration in the budget.
So one of the key takeouts from this meeting is that we need better coordination between the different line ministries, Ministry of Finance, our coordinating ministry and OPC, and development partners. So I think there's really good commitment that this is a great start, but we need to meet more regularly, probably sector by sector, so that we can really get into the budgets of health, of education, of trade, investment, and look at how we can make sure that money works in the best interest of Zimbabwe.
Treasury described the development partner support as an important element in facilitating socio-economic development.
When it comes to 2025 national budget, the theme is on building resilience for sustained economic transformation. You can see from the title that there's a fixation with dealing with climate change issues, how to build resilience to shocks, be they internal or external, and we really expect you to give us support in this regard.
Development partners continue to play an important role in providing financial support to the country's national budget. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, let's take a look at the arts now. Well, Jamaican roots reggae musician Winston Rodney, affectionately known as Burning Spear, is in the country. Well, he touched down at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport this afternoon ahead of his One People Africa tour, where he will perform at the Glamis Arena in Harare on Friday. The reggae sensation is also expected to visit Rastafarian communities along with a tour of the Museum of African Liberation. Burning Spear is renowned for classic hits such as Marcus Garvey, Slavery Days, and Men in the Hills. He also has new songs from an album called No Destroyer, which has just been nominated for a Grammy Award. So scenes there, as you can see on your screens, as the man made his way into the country. Exciting stuff. Looking forward to that concert on Friday.
Well, exciting stuff indeed there, Butler. There's also exciting stuff in soccer because we'll be talking about Dynamos and Yada, the outcome of that match this afternoon. Stay tuned for sport coming after this break.
Good morning and win forever, citizens of heaven in Zimbabwe. The man of God, Senior Apostle John Chi, all the way from Cameroon, arrives in Zimbabwe for a 2-day crusade at the City Sports Center on the 19th and the 18th of October. You are all invited to come and receive your blessings. When I say all, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your neighbors. Bring everybody you can think of, because this is a time where God will change something in your life. There will be healing and there will be deliverance for each and every one of you. So we're expecting to see you in your numbers. Don't miss your blessings.
Bindura University of Science Education wishes to inform all graduates, their families and the nation at large that its 23rd graduation ceremony will be held on 18 October 2024 at the FSC campus. Graduates and their guests are required to be seated by 0800 hours. The following graduation fees will apply per category. Undergraduate program, $95 including regalia. Master's program, $120 including regalia. Doctorate program, $200 excluding regalia. Banking details for graduation fees. ZB Bank Bindura, account number 4536-743-766-405. Graduates are encouraged to clear outstanding fees, pay graduation fees, and collect their transcripts on or before the 17th of October 2024. All are reminded to bring national IDs or passports when collecting transcripts and certificates. Certificates will only be collected after this ceremony. All graduates are expected to be in academic regalia and formal attire on the day of graduation. Admission to the graduation venue will strictly be through invitation cards. Cards will be issued to all graduates and their guests and will be available for collection from faculty offices. Rehearsals will be held on the 17th of October 2024, starting at 14:15 hours at the FSC campus. All graduates are expected to attend the rehearsal without fail. All guests and graduates are strongly advised not to bring cameras or photographic equipment into the graduation venue. Bindura University of Science Education wishes to invite all interested parties to partner with it during the 2024 graduation ceremony. Kindly contact our Advancement and Public Relations Department for further information at advancement@busc.ac.zw or call 066-210-7619. For all queries, please contact the Academic Registry Department on telephone number +263 662 107532 or 7621 up to 4 during working hours. That's 0800 to 1630 hours.
Harare Giants Dynamos are through to the Chibuku Super Cup semi-finals after a penalty shootout victory over Yada at Rufaro Stadium this Wednesday. Our first look at sport.
The quarter-final match, which ended 1-1 after regulation time, had to be decided by the dreaded penalty shootout, with the defending champions the Dynamo sailing through 5-3. The match started on a slow note, with neither side able to break the deadlock in the first half. Yada's prosper Kafela Panjila, however, struck just 2 minutes into the second half to give the visitors a 1-0 lead. In-form winger Valentine Kadonjo rescued the Glamour boys in the 80th minute to force the match into a penalty shootout. Dynamos converted all their 5 penalties, while Yada missed their second attempt to concede defeat to the defending champions. Zimbabwe will now face Manyika Diamonds in the semi-finals, scheduled for the 26th and 27th of this month. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
So that's 7 million happy fans for Dynamos there. The Zimbabwe women national cricket team, the Lady Chevrons, ready to host the United States of America in a 5-match one-day international series which starts tomorrow at Harare Sports Club.
The series is scheduled to take place from the 17th to the 28th of this month. Marks the second time the teams will face each other on Zimbabwean home soil. Their previous encounter was the ICC Women's World Cup qualifier in Harare on the 21st of November in 2021, where Zimbabwe emerged victorious. The USA women's team arrived in Zimbabwe this Monday ahead of the series. The 5-match ODI series will be played on the 17th, 28th, 23rd, 26th and the 28th of this month. Meanwhile, 4 players are poised to make their debut for Zimbabwe during the 50-over format white ball series. Among them is Bindura-based spin bowler Olinde Chare, who has represented Zimbabwe at under-19 team level. She was part of the team that toured South Africa in 2022 and participated in the inaugural ICC Under-19 Women's Cricket World Cup in 2023. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
An interministerial sports festival is underway in the city of Gweru amid calls for civil servants to embrace sport to strengthen their health and mental well-being.
The 5-day sporting event, which has drawn over 2,000 participants, has witnessed over 30 government departments partaking in various sporting disciplines. Government is convinced civil servants should take the initiative to engage in sport seriously, as it comes with a number of benefits to individuals and the nation at large.
Physical activity can reduce depression and anxiety by up to 30%, a statistic that cannot be ignored. Let us not forget the importance of balancing work and health. In today's rapidly evolving work environment, balancing these two aspects remains a critical challenge.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Mr. Nicholas Moyo, weighed in saying he is satisfied with the growth of the sporting extravaganza, which is now an annual event.
As we gather here today, let us take a moment to reflect on the tremendous power of sport and recreation. It transcends barriers, brings people together, and teaches us invaluable lessons about perseverance and discipline.
Government workers who are participating at the sporting festival expressed gratitude to their employer for coming up with the initiative, which is bringing positive change in their lifestyle.
Ngoba siyasitshone sihleze emsebenzini ngale singabantu ababhoda ngama-ofisi ngezitulo nje kuphela, kodwa ukubuya sizethokoza khonapha sidlala la amagame kwenza lathi ingqondo zethu zihlaliseke, sikhululeke, sithole isikhathi sokuthi sizilibazise.
Toti kunahulumente wethu weZimbabwe ngakugale kwakajali vanhu behangana noti koga kwaba nebulemo ngoga tikhangane tizana.
Participants who excelled in different sporting disciplines won various prizes. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
And that is our look at sport. The weather report and forecast, courtesy of the Meteorological Services Department, is next.
Welcome, and it's time for your weather details. Today it started off cloudy and cool over much parts of Zimbabwe, and as a result we had widespread thunder showers and rain last night into today in the morning. The highest rainfall amounts recorded is at 8 a.m. where 47 millimeters at Odzi, 45 at Weza, 30 at Bindura, as well as 23 millimeters at Rusape, while all the other rainfall amounts were less than 20 millimeters. The rest of the country experienced mostly sunny conditions for the rest of the day. Now, partly cloud conditions are expected tomorrow over all Mashonaland provinces into Harare as well as Manicaland, and should thin out as we get towards the end of the week, and all the other areas should experience mostly sunny conditions. Now, our lows tonight, it should be cool for the rest of the night, with the minimum being 10 in Gweru, cloud conditions over the central part stretching into the eastern region, and the highest being 20 degrees Celsius in Kariba. Now, for maximums tomorrow should range between 26 degrees Celsius and 34 in Victoria Falls, while partly cloud conditions are expected in all Mashonaland provinces, Harare Metropolitan into Manicaland provinces, with some freshening winds here and there. Now, as we move forward, Bulawayo is forecast to be briefly cloudy, becoming mostly sunny as the day progresses. As for Chinhoyi, partly cloud conditions tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny as we get towards the end of the week. Gwanda, partly cloudy, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Gweru, the Midlands, briefly cloudy, sunny conditions by noon, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. As for Harare, partly cloud conditions tomorrow and sunny as we get towards the end of the week. As for Kadoma, should be briefly cloudy, sunny conditions during the day, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Kariba, sunny conditions throughout the focus period. For Lupane, should be briefly cloudy, sunny conditions by noon, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Kwekwe, sunny conditions throughout the day, though partly cloudy in the morning. Masvingo, briefly cloudy with sunny conditions by the day, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Matopo should be partly cloudy, becoming sunny towards the end of the day. Nyanga, partly cloudy tomorrow, becoming sunny as we get into Friday. Victoria Falls, sunny conditions should prevail Thursday into Friday. Mild in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Thank you for watching. It's Christine Swanda here. Good night.
Right, the weather report and forecast are bringing us to the end of tonight's news bulletin. Justin, ready to go?
I'm ready, Butler, and I think everybody is also ready to take a nap and rest. Otherwise, thank you so much for having been part of this broadcast. From all of us here, it's a good night. Yep.